February 5, around 6:40 in the morning. So it's cloudy today. And one of the things I want to do is power sharing the solar power. So right now it's P46. P46 is low power, that sort of thing. So similarly, the other one probably is showing P46. So there's enough energy to power up the Submer right now, but not to energize the pump. Although the voltage says 348, it's not enough to energize the pump. So 342 here. RPM is 0. Of course, amps is 0, watts 0, that sort of thing. So it's not wanting to drive. It's the computer is doing its job to energize the motor. However, it's not sufficient. So I think every 30 seconds it refreshes this error. So at the moment it's not enough to energize the well. So yesterday I messed around with the panel. So I reverted the panel back to what it was. So the voltage at 370, and I can hear the control box wanting to energize it to something. So right now the RPM is at 1100 RPM. If it has enough energy to drive it. So the RPM went down to those values, so it's fluctuating. So with a cloudy day like this, the system has enough smarts to do something. Here the system is wanting to drive the Submer. The amps is increasing, watts changing, and the voltage here is it's varying as it drives the motor, so it's just varying value. So let's see, the same thing probably. Press this, it gives you P0. Press enter, go all the way to 12. Press enter. So it's not the same. Actually, go up to 9. Press enter. It's actually the same. Now all of the LED are on. So I'll change this to 2900. I think press enter to accept. I think it will exit. I think set, long press. So now the setting is at 2900 RPM. It won't try to drive it all the way to 4000 because it couldn't. So in theory, there should be a good power sharing, but we'll see. This is 4 HP and the default is 3 HP. So we'll see how the power sharing is. I think the time now is past 7. The sun is creeping out a little bit. However, it's cloudy, so we'll see how it performs. I'll stay here till 8. So now it's slowly doing something silly. So the sun is changing. So with this method of power sharing the energy by decreasing the RPM, it should be good enough for both of them to run at some water outflow. So yeah, It's one of those learning curve. If a person is sharing the panel, then one has to do some programming. So I opened up the control box. I'm looking at it to see if I can communicate to this box. So it seems like there is a port. It has 3824 TXRX COM. So it's a serial port communication. Now I wonder if it's TTL. Actually, since I have a multimeter, I'm just going to quickly check if it's TTL or plus or minus 12 output. However, looking at the circuit board, it might be RS485 type communication interface. I don't see a RS232 type chip, or there might be. So I'm going to quickly check. Yeah, it's kind of strange. The COM is ground, RX is 0, TX is around 1.2 volts. So it might be RS485. Looking closer, the 38 volt is actually 3.8 volts. So this system might be a 3.6 volt system. This is a 7805 regulator that gives 5 volts. I don't know what kind of micro it's using. So this is a switcher to switch down the input solar to 24 volts. And there is a 9 volt to 11 volt input to the regulator. So don't know where that's coming from. It's interesting. So the system seems to be a 24 volt system. So if it's RS485, I might be able to communicate to it. That might be the RS485. So we'll see. See if I can find this thing from the internet. Here, the system is wanting to do the same. So although the voltage is showing 391, it's actually insufficient to drive the pump. So when I was getting closer, I noticed the control box was working hard at energizing the motor. However, with the power sharing, it's challenging. So one has to manage the available power to drive the system. So right now here, it resets about every 30 seconds. So it's wanting to do this, and the RPM is at 1000. However, that is insufficient amount, especially when the amps is at 100 milliamp. It's not enough to get the system going. So the time is 6:40, I think, before 7. So I'm gonna change the default RPM. Press button for 3 seconds. 1001. Actually, not even that. So press enter and go to 12. I mean, this goes up and down. So the setting for RPM is at 12, and then press enter, and then the setting for the RPM is at P09. Press enter, and you can change the default to 3000. I'm going to set it to 3000. So that's what set. set, exit. So, and when the sun is shiny, you can change it any value you want. So right now, initially I had it set to 1000 just to mess around with it, just to give it that energy. So actually I'm messing around with the RPM, so I'm gonna set it 3000 set. Okay, now to exit, in theory it should be pressing enter. So that's what it is. I think I'm making a mistake, so I'm going to learn from that. So how to set the default RPM to some other value than 4000. So press this for several seconds. It'll show P00. Press enter, and I've already played around, so the target value is 12, so you can go up and down. Okay, so that's the RPM. So enter. Actually, what did I do? Oh yeah, so 12, press enter, and then this thing needs to be at 9. Okay, press enter. So I've already set it to 3000. So all of the 4 LED is indicating that it's in setup mode. So you can change the default value to some other value. So right now I'm setting it at 3000 RPM. So press this once, and then to exit, press it again. Actually, wait, 3000. Then press the enter. No, okay. 3000. Press once, and then press another one. Oh, actually, press long press. So now all of the LED have changed, so only 2 are changing. So now the default setting is at 3000. So if I turn off, for example, turn it on, the RPM, although it's not let me think. Yeah, so when you press up, the default now is at 3000. So that's how the default changed from 4000 to 3000. So you change that during the day. So you gotta practice how to do it. So the system, this is what it looked like with this kind of sunny, well, cloudy days. So now the system would try to drive this at 3000 RPM. Right now it's 7:30. So while I'm at it, I'm going to take some data here to do some post analysis. Just always curious about the leaf color. So the more I understand these, the better that I can control the amount of urea that will be spread out on the rice field. Because from what I understand, you just can't simply willy-nilly provide urea just because. One should be what's learned enough to see that urea cannot be just that, because it'll poison the land, and that's not really what I want to do. I mean, I just want to control the amount of urea that's going to be given on the rice field. So That's the thing. What's just gotta work smart and simply work hard. It's okay to work hard. Just learn how to work smarter. I do wish it would rain. It's cloudy. It should be capable of raining. However, it doesn't want to rain. That's the situation with January, February months. It's cloudy. In February right now, it's not raining. There's a little bit of moisture in the air. However, it's not enough to flood the rice field. It's now 8 o'clock, so it's giving out this. The sun is at that. It's peeking out of the clouds. I set the RPM to 1500. So the default is running at 2600 RPM. So 365 volts. Since I've changed the other Submer to 1500 RPM, this guy is taking most of the power. So, and that's alright. I think this one needs more water than the other one. So I'm just gonna take this apart and check if I can communicate to it. So 8 o'clock, sun out of the horizon. It's probably like 10 degrees from the horizon. So there's enough energy to power both Submer. However, that one needs to change RPM later. Before I leave, I'm going to change it to 2000 RPM. Thanks for watching.